Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Oasis Springs and we are building a family home for the Clark family. This is a family that I've been playing in my personal time. I created this household I think around the time of just before Enchanted by Nature came out, and it's been like I play in long lifespan, so they haven't really progressed that much in age. If you're wondering why they still look very much the same as the last video, but I've really been enjoying them. This particular build was built before they had their first child, which was his name is William. I actually think my sim is pregnant, as you can see. They also adopted two dogs, Lexi and Lexi. Oh, I'm trying to think of the dog's name. Lexi and okay, it's gone. I can't remember the second dog. I know Lexi is the brown and white dog. That's kind of, I think they're like a English Spaniel or something. And I can't, is it Daisy? Daisy might be the black and white dog that you see. Anyway, this build was required because the original build that they started in, which was their starter home, is actually on the channel. So a couple of months ago, I released a starter home that was like a modern mid-century starter home. I will link it down below. That particular build is on the channel, and that is the home that this family started out in. And the idea was for this build was, I guess this family was that I'm a legacy player, so I really wanted to start a new legacy household. I did have one that I played for years. They were the Smith family, and I think I started that when Cottage Living came out, and I'd played for them for years. And I remember just like loving my founder sim so much. Anyway, this is this family. It's interesting how quickly things progress in the sim. They have already grown out of this home, so I am currently in the works of planning and building a new family home for them. So they wanted to have a second child and they ended up with a set of twins. So now we have 3 children. And I think that's the only drawback of long lifespan is having long lifespan through the infant stage. I find it so difficult. And now that there are 3, I really struggle to play The Sims. It got to the point that I just hadn't touched the household in a really long time. And I decided to play with a much smaller household that just felt more manageable, especially with Adventure Awaits and all the child gameplay. I cannot wait for all that. But the thing is like committing to a long lifespan, you're gonna have to wait. You do have to wait, unfortunately, for that. But the reason I put them on long lifespan is I really get attached to my Sims, and I really wanted to, play with my founder sim, and I was really utilizing the businesses and hobbies expansion pack, and they have a yoga studio business that they run, and I feel like I haven't really dived into that properly. And now we have like another 2 expansion packs from that, and it's crazy how that we've had our 3rd for the year. So anyway, I've really flown over a lot of this build. The main parts of this build that I'll talk about, the inspiration. So the front section, that towered front section with the new glass. Well, when I built this, the feature of glass windows and glass walls, not windows. They look like windows. Glass walls was brand new. So I wanted to build a modern build utilizing those glass walls. So that was the kind of inspiration. They also needed a new house. Their original build was more of that modern mid-century style. So I thought, why not? It was a good opportunity to do that. That's how old this particular build is. One of my favorite areas of this home is the kitchen that we're doing now. I absolutely love this idea of how I utilize these counters. So what you'll see is I actually create kind of like a little study nook, or seating area from the kitchen. So you have a wall that has this large kind of, I guess, rectangular window that kind of acts like a viewing window. And then you have like island counters on the other side. And I really like this. I thought it was genius. And I put like a laptop and like a bookend and I think some other clutter pieces. We use a lot of businesses and hobbies in this particular build, just because the style of the assets really lean a little bit more modern. There are items in this build that have been crafted by the actual family. So that dining table and those chairs. So when we had the Nature's Calling event, which was the kind of event prior to Enchanted by Nature coming out, you had that part of that was to get, use the woodworking table, and that table and chairs comes from that event. So I decided to keep them and use them in the household because they're items that relate to the family. You'll also see some paintings that my sim has painted. You might see some wedding photos that are from this as well. So anyway, we're at a point now where we are doing the floor plan. The downstairs floor plan took me forever. I just could not work out where I wanted to put the living room. In the end, you basically walk into the space, and as you can see to your right, you have the dining, which is in front of that kind of curved glassed walled space, which is beautiful. A ton of light comes through there and it's a really gorgeous space. You then have the kitchen and then the doors that lead out to the exterior. The backyard in this build is massive. It is huge. And I really enjoy the backyard. We could have done a ton more, but I do like what I've done there. You'll see that shortly. We then have kind of like a seated area and a kind of like a desk. So where I'm doing all of this living room stuff, all of this changes. That doesn't stay there. Also, that sliding door doesn't stay there. That all gets changed. We then add in a garage, which is this kind of area here. And we put in the woodworking table that I mentioned, and we put in some laundry. So it's a very small space that we do that, but we definitely do that. So this is a 3x1 bedroom house. The only bathroom in this build is actually upstairs. I think that's okay considering that's where the bathrooms are in this particular home. So bathrooms. Yes, there's one where the bedrooms are. So that makes a little bit more sense. But I think realistically it should have two. Anyway, so you can see how we very quickly outgrew this house. If you're going to have 5 Sims in a house, you need 2 bathrooms. Especially because, again, this is something I'm playing in. If it was something I was just building, say for the channel or putting it on the gallery and calling it a day, I might not have worried as much perhaps. But because I'm playing in this build, I wanted things to be the way that I like them, I guess. All right, this ends up being the final spot for the living room. We've used a lot of the refined living room kit. It is one of my favorite kits. I really love it. And I think that it works very well with the businesses and hobbies furniture design. We've used, obviously there are pets in this particular build. So there's lots of items for pets. As you can see, there's the wedding photo on top of the desk, little things like that. I've obviously added those things because this is for my personal use. But if you were to download this build, it is on the Sims 4 gallery. My gallery ID is Antoinette44. You can delete all of that stuff. I am putting some baby items in because as I mentioned, you might have seen that my Sim was pregnant. So I'm already prepping for that. We do decorate a nursery, but also, I guess there's 2 nurseries because I guess I anticipate them having a second child. So I already build and decorate that second nursery. But I was happy. I envisioned this household to just be a family of 4. That's what I wanted to play with. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And that's okay. I might just change it to normal lifespan just to get through these infant stages, and then I can revert it back. I think that makes the most sense. And their next home, I think, is going to be very much family orientated. And it's probably not going to be as modern, I don't think. I definitely could, because Adventure Awaits does have some modern assets, but I just like really want to put in a playground and things like that. And I'm actually now excited that with Adventure Awaits, like, because there's a set of twins and then their brother is actually not that much older than they are, then they're actually going to all be able to play together and be a similar age. So that's actually very exciting. We use a lot of the Storybook Nursery kit paired with the wallpaper that comes from Business and Hobbies. I've said it before, I actually really like the colours. They're kind of pastel and they're very usable. And I do make them, I don't know, I think I leaned them to be more gender neutral. At this stage, obviously, she hadn't had the baby yet, so I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, so I just kind of decorated it simply. Gone in with I'm using Debug Landscaping, so I must change from live mode to standard build mode from the Manage Worlds, because otherwise all my landscaping would be like dried up. Yes, and I think the reason I did this is because I'm using the funds from the household. Like, this is a build that's using those funds. I didn't just cheat the money. And because of that, I did have some budget considerations. But I've mentioned this at the start of the month when we were doing all of those base game renos, that a lot of the newer packs now, a lot of the assets are more affordable and you can kind of get away with certain things. All right, we are starting with the upstairs with the bedrooms. So we are currently in the master bedroom, and I think at this stage I am just putting out furniture because I've only got about 20,000 simoleons left. I wonder if I do cheat some money because I don't know how I'm going to furnish 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. We use a shower tub combo just because it's just the most, I guess, space and cost-effective way to have a bathroom when you are playing with children, because you can bath or shower in the one area. And I put in a potty for when they grow up. But as I said, it was a nightmare trying to have the one bathroom and it be upstairs and away from the main living. We've got a balcony space. I've put in an easel because my sim is a painter. She's a painter, but she also is into yoga. As I said, she teaches yoga and all that. Their yoga studio also has a pool because it's in Oasis Springs. It's kind of like turning a little bit more into a fitness center. And I think that's what I want to make it. I think that will be one of the things that I aim to do with the, using Adventure Awaits. Eventually, I will make like a fitness center and I'll expand their business, expand the family business, and do that. All right, so we've just kind of brushed over the main nursery, and this is, it's kind of like they have a nursery and then just like a baby room. I don't know if that's the same thing. It probably is. But I put in a ton of baby stuff. I put in like their marriage certificate, the little baby prints from when they're born, all of that kind of cutesy stuff for gameplay. I thought that would be really nice. And just going around and putting some kind of modern paintings and whatnot. So I've said it before, but I really love those Business and Hobbies 1 tile wide glass doors. They look really sophisticated and nice, and I just think that they pair really well with the tall windows. All right, we are outside and we're doing this kind of exterior. I love this little seating area. We actually add in a grill and some counters because we actually put in a pizza oven. So because this is my own personal gameplay, I add in things that I like to use. And I think that it's really, I don't know, I think it would be interesting. Like, would you guys want to see more of this where it's like I show you the builds that I actually play with and the items that I actually like to use? Because I feel like when I build for the gallery, I build kind of like a very generic, I decorate in a very generic way. As opposed to what I use. You know, I like to play with laundry. Some people don't. I like to play with pets. Some people don't. I like to use all the appliances from like Home Chef Hustle, and I like to have a coffee machine, and I don't know. That's just the things that I like to use. So I add all those in. All right, we are starting with the landscaping, and this is, as I mentioned, all debug. I've used a lot of like combination of Oasis Springs and Willow Creek kind of furnishings of plants and stuff. So I've lined the driveway with these beautiful hedges that I've been using. Cypress trees. We've gone in with a lot of cactus, aloe vera plants, ferns. I love their ferns. They're so nice. And we are pairing it with, we don't really have a lot of color. I've just really stuck with the, All right, Enchanted by Nature and a couple of other packs in their debug menu, they had these low-laying flowers that were plain green, and I love them. So I've used them in this particular build as well. I think you can also get them in the Horse Ranch debug menu. So if you don't have Enchanted by Nature, you may have Horse Ranch, that it's also there. I've gone in with a bit of dirt under all of the landscaping, and we are just adding in the final touches. I'm adding in some hydrangeas just for a little bit of more, just a little bit of color, I guess. It's a little bit too green. And finalizing the roof textures and the exterior. Gone in with this beautiful paneling. This comes from Businesses and Hobbies, of course. And I think it just complements that kind of sliding that comes from the, it's actually the Nature's Calling event. We actually got that kind of cabin-like texture. Yeah. Alrighty. So we've gone with more of a burnt wood tone. I've just changed the flooring. So that's that flooring. I've been using the terrain paint all month, but that's the actual flooring. I've just changed it up, changed the front, and we should be just doing a final check and then, okay, changing the wood tone. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I build the whole build and the flooring's not right, and then once I change it, it just looks perfect. All right, adding in that woodworking table. Again, I was doing the Nature's Calling event and you needed that, so I've gone and added that in. All right, so we are kind of already inside with the tour. So that's the downstairs. You then walk upstairs and you have the master bedroom. And you can see there's wedding photos on the dresser. Flowers for when they were dating. That's really sweet. The one bathroom in the build. You have the baby's room, I guess. And what would be an infant's room. Or a toddler's nursery, I guess. And then you have that balcony. Oh, I need to fix that panel. Downstairs, you have that pizza oven and that entertainer's area. You have a fire pit. You have a pool. You have the yoga mat. And I've put in some of the plants that they have been growing. I've also put in a ton of these pots that come from Businesses and Hobbies that you can craft, and a lot of the indoor plants. Because as I said, I must have added all of this in after Enchanted by Nature had come out. I put in a toddler's paddle pool because I will probably need that. Although I'm going to probably have them move before they reach that life stage. And monkey bars. Really lovely. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's build, and I hope you enjoyed the content for October. I have really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.